families woke to disturbed earth and empty coffins. In March 2016, police in northern China uncovered a horrifying trade. A dead woman's body had been sold for nearly $18,000. Not for organ harvesting, not for ransom, for marriage. Investigators discovered underground brokers stealing female corpses from graves across rural provinces like Shaanxi and Shanxi, supplying families searching for ghost brides for their dead sons. But this nightmare did not begin in modern China. It began more than 3,000 years ago, with an ancient fear that dying unmarried condemned the soul to eternal loneliness. And for centuries, some families believed there was only one solution: marry the dead. Entire weddings were held for corpses, contracts signed, dowries exchanged, bodies buried together beneath the earth. And as the tradition spread through ancient China, the dead themselves became valuable. Tonight, we uncover the terrifying history of China's ghost marriages, where love, grief, superstition, and crime collided in the darkness of the grave. Ancient Chinese culture viewed death very differently from the modern world. The dead were not gone. They still existed beside the living. They required offerings, respect, and remembrance from their descendants. Ancestor worship became central to Chinese society for thousands of years, especially under the Zhou dynasty, which ruled from around 1046 to 256 BCE. And within those beliefs emerged a disturbing fear. An unmarried person could become a restless spirit, especially a son. In traditional Chinese family structure, sons carried the ancestral bloodline. A man dying before marriage meant no descendants, no continuation of the family name, no spiritual partner in the afterlife. Some believed such spirits became lonely, bitter, even dangerous. References to concerns about unmarried dead appear in ancient Chinese writings, including the Zuo Zhuan, compiled around the 4th century BCE. By the Qing dynasty, from 1644 to 1912, ghost marriage customs had become deeply rooted in northern provinces like Shaanxi, Henan. Families feared a dead son might haunt the household if left spiritually unsettled. So they searched for brides. Even among the dead, the rituals often resembled normal Chinese weddings, only colder. Sometimes both bride and groom were dead. In other cases, a living woman was symbolically married to a deceased man. Families consulted fortune tellers to determine spiritual compatibility between the couple. If approved, negotiations began. Marriage contracts were written, dowries exchanged, paper servants, paper houses, and ceremonial money were burned so the dead could use them in the afterlife. Ceremonies took place beside ancestral shrines or graves. Incense filled the air. Priests recited blessings. Wooden tablets bearing the names of the dead stood where living couples would normally stand. Then the remains were buried together. A marriage beneath the earth. Qing dynasty records describe elaborate ghost wedding processions involving funeral music, bridal clothing placed on corpses, and symbolic feasts held for the dead couple. One scholar described the ritual as a marriage to calm the spirits of the shadows. But eventually, a terrifying problem emerged. There were not enough brides. By the late 19th century, female corpses had become commodities in parts of rural China. The younger the woman, the higher the price. Grave robbers began targeting cemeteries after the burial of unmarried women. Families woke to disturbed earth and empty coffins. Then the crimes escalated. In 2006, Chinese authorities uncovered corpse trafficking operations in Shaanxi province tied directly to ghost marriages. Bodies of women were secretly transported and sold to families with deceased sons. Some sold for thousands of dollars. Fresh corpses were worth even more. In another case, reported by Chinese media in 2015, police arrested men accused of digging up recently buried female bodies and reselling them through underground funeral brokers. And rumors spread of something even darker: murder for ghost brides. Authorities investigated multiple suspicious deaths connected to the illegal corpse trade, though exact numbers remain unclear. As modern China increasingly promoted cremation, intact bodies became rarer and more valuable. Some families refused cremation entirely because traditional ghost marriages required burial beside the groom. Others paid criminal networks to obtain bodies illegally. Even in the 21st century, cemeteries in parts of northern China increased security after the burial of young women, because somewhere nearby, someone might still be searching for a bride. To outsiders, ghost marriage sounds horrifying, but many participating families viewed it as an act of love or duty. Traditional Chinese spirituality blurred the boundary between life and death. The dead could still influence the living, bringing blessings, causing illness, protecting descendants, punishing disrespect. During festivals like the Hungry Ghost Festival, families offered food and incense to wandering spirits believed to suffer in the afterlife. An unmarried spirit was considered especially restless. Some regions even delayed weddings for living family members until deceased unmarried relatives had first been spiritually married. Ghost marriage restored balance. It repaired what death had interrupted. Confucian ideals about family continuity and ancestor reverence strengthened these beliefs for centuries. Even scholars who criticized funeral superstitions during the Song dynasty failed to erase the practice. Because grief is stronger than logic, and fear survives longer than empires. Today, ghost marriage is officially discouraged in China. Corpse trafficking and grave robbing carry severe criminal penalties, but the tradition has never completely disappeared. Anthropologists and journalists continue documenting secret ceremonies in isolated rural communities where ancient customs remain powerful. No public advertisements, no official records, only quiet agreements between families. In some villages, elderly residents still insist the dead should not remain alone. And beneath modern highways, apartment towers, and expanding cities, the old fears still survive. The fear that death is not the end. The fear that loneliness continues beneath the grave. Imagine a silent cemetery in northern China. Red funeral lanterns sway in the wind. Incense smoke drifts through the darkness. And beneath the earth, two strangers are buried side by side as husband and wife. For more than 3,000 years, ghost marriages revealed something unsettling about human nature: our refusal to let the dead go. What began as a spiritual tradition slowly transformed into grave robbery, trafficking, and a market built upon corpses. Because when fear controls the living, even the dead can become property. And somewhere tonight, in the quiet countryside of China, another grave may still be waiting for a bride.